In ancient times, childbirth was not seen only as a physical process, but as a sacred gateway and a deeply spiritual experience. People believed that birth was a doorway between two worlds, where the child passes through to enter this life. If this process happened with calmness, awareness, and spiritual connection, the child could more easily develop its spiritual potential. This beginning brought greater clarity to the soul's path. Birth was often carried out in sacred places, and many tribes followed natural cycles, especially the lunar cycle. During the full moon, women would gather under its light, and childbirth would happen collectively in an atmosphere of support, unity, and presence. There were special places for these rituals, such as caves or where rivers meet, places where the earth energy was felt more strongly and alive. For example, places like Cozumel and Isla Mujeres were seen as sacred spaces, like schools of mystery and the womb of the earth. In Cozumel, people worshipped a goddess called Ixchel, a Mayan goddess, the lady of the water and rainbows. Women would go there to receive blessings, prepare for childbirth, and connect with feminine energy. Places like Chichen Itza were also seen as sacred openings of water and symbols of the womb of the earth, a water gateway connected to Gaia's energy. Even caves like Fingal's Cave, with its dark and impressive stone calmness, were believed to be shaped by Mother Earth herself and used as powerful spaces for childbirth rituals. In other parts of the world, there were also mysterious sacred sites, such as the 9 Maidens' Stone Circle in Britain, which was seen as a magical gateway for birth and creation. Even structures like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, with designs that resemble a womb, are sometimes believed to be connected to ancient birth rituals. Ancient people understood that the earth is our mother and we live inside her sacred body. They were also aware of the importance of water in childbirth, and many births took place in water, especially where two rivers meet, where flows merge, and birth happens in harmony with that union. The moment of the birth was considered very sensitive and important, the baby's first experience of this world, whether the world feels safe or threatening. That is why great efforts was made to create a feeling of safety for the newborn. In some tribes, the baby would stay in a dark and quiet space for about 20 days, and then slowly and carefully be brought into the light, so it could adjust to its new sacred home. In many ancient cultures, from the South Pacific Islands to old civilization, women gave birth in shallow sea water. Water was seen as a living and supportive element, creating a safe and familiar space for the baby to enter this world. There were even stories that in ancient Egypt, some pharaohs were born in water, a symbol of sacred birth connected to the flow of the life. Modern research also supports some of this ancient wisdom. Babies born in water are often calmer, cry less, and show stronger bonding with their mothers and breastfeeding. But alongside water, there was another important presence: masculine energy. In ancient traditions, the man was not just an observer, but a supporter and part of the sacred union. Childbirth was not only a physical event, it was a sacred ritual of feminine and masculine unity. Excluding men from this deep experience could create separation between the father and the newborn. But when the man is present at this moment, with awareness and respect, he can take the role of the sacred father, a supporter, protector, and witness of birth. In many traditions, sound and vibration played an important role in childbirth. Songs, chant, and ritual sounds helped open the body and spirit of the mother, and also supported the baby during the transition. Men would play drums to reflect the mother's heartbeat, so the baby could feel it is still connected to the rhythm of the life, earth, and Gaia. Movement was also an important part of the process. Dancing during birth, hip movements, and wave-like or figure-8 motions help the baby into a better position for birth. And among all these elements, there is another very important part, the placenta, a sacred part that needs deep understanding and care. One important belief in ancient cultures was the view of the placenta. After birth, the placenta was not immediately separated from the baby. They allowed this connection to end naturally in its own time, without rush, without interference, because the placenta was seen as more than a physical organ. It was considered sacred. It was believed to be the baby's first companion, even a first mother, the one that provided nourishment, protection, and comfort during pregnancy. In their view, there was a deep unity between the baby's spirit and the placenta, so the separation had to happen with respect and natural timing. After it separated naturally, a special ritual was performed. It was buried in the earth as a gift to Mother Earth. This act was not just a tradition, it was a way to keep the baby connected to Gaia. And if the baby was not suddenly entering an unknown world, but arriving with a sense of familiarity and connection. But today, much of this wisdom has been forgotten. Babies are often born under bright lights and loud noises, an experience that can be overwhelming. And in most cases, the placenta is immediately separated. However, even in modern conditions, we can try to be more aware. For example, allowing this connection to remain for a short time, even a few hours or one night, and then with awareness and respect, returning the placenta to the earth as a symbol of gratitude and a reconnection to the cycle of life. These small actions can create a deep impact on how a human being begins life, and perhaps they can bring a more conscious, peaceful, and sacred beginning into the world.